So far, what we've looked at is expanding with the distributive law, but also expanding two sets of brackets with two terms inside each bracket. However, we can apply expansion beyond that. All right, so examples are here. Like we've got the two terms in one bracket with three terms in the other bracket. And in this second example, we've actually got three sets of brackets with two terms in each bracket. All right, so let's look at how do we actually expand it when we've got these types of situations, and then we can actually apply that to any type of situation we get when we're expanding brackets. All right, so first of all, when we're still dealing with two sets of brackets, when we multiply two sets of brackets together, essentially what we've got to do is we've got to multiply the first term here with every term in the second bracket, and we have to do the same over here. This second term has to multiply with every term in the second bracket. Essentially, every term in one bracket has to multiply every term in the other bracket. And that's what FOIL kind of did for us when we had two terms in each bracket. It just allowed us a way to make sure we multiplied everything together. However, we don't really have an acronym to use here when we start getting into more complex expansion problems. So what we have to do is just manually go through it and make sure we essentially don't miss anything as we go. All right, so I like doing little arrows as you're going. So essentially this first one here has to multiply all three terms in the second bracket. So this is going to be x times 2x squared, which will be, it'll be 2. So it'll be 2x to the power of 3, because x times x squared is x cubed. Then it'll be this first term multiplied the middle term, so this x times the 5x, which will be plus 5x squared. And then it'll be this first term multiplied by the last term, so this x times the negative 2, which is negative 2x. Then we've got to do the same thing with this second term. This 2 has to multiply the 2x squared, which is going to be plus 4x squared. Then the 2 has to multiply the 5x, which is going to be plus 10x. Then the 2 has to multiply with the negative 2, all right, which is going to be negative 4. And you can see here now that the x has multiplied everything on this side and the 2's multiplied everything on this side. And we've got a collection of 6 terms. So now we've got to this point, we now have to check for like terms and simplify them by collecting like terms. So what we've got here is an x cubed. There's no other x cubed, so this 2x cubed remains as it is. This 5x squared, we've got a plus 4x squared, so together that'll be 9x squared. Then the x terms, we've got negative 2 and positive 10, so that'll be positive 8 overall, so 8x. And then the constant term here is just take 4, there's no other constant terms. So what we've now successfully done is expand the brackets first and then simplified by collecting the like terms. Okay? Now that's what happens when we're multiplying two sets of brackets together. However, sometimes we're trying to multiply more than two sets of brackets with each other. And essentially what we have to remember here, and I've kind of got the rule already written here in green here, is we can only ever multiply two sets of brackets together at a time. You can't try and skip ahead and do extra multiplications. We've just got to focus on two sets at a time. So essentially what I'm going to do here, and you can pick any two to be honest, but I'm going to ignore this x plus 2, and I'm going to concentrate with the expansion of just this. Now if you think about it, if I covered up the x plus 2, we're back to our FOIL expansion that we had at the start. But FOIL expansion just ensures us that we multiply everything in one bracket with everything in the second bracket. So this x has to multiply the x, which gives us, and I'm going to put this in brackets because it's going to stay in brackets, gives us x squared. All right, then the x multiplies negative 1, which would be take 1x or just take x. The 3's got to multiply the x, so that'll be plus 3x. And then the 3's got to multiply the negative 1, which would be take 3. Okay, and then that's still got to multiply with x plus 2. And the whole thing needs to multiply. It's the reason why I put this in brackets, because the whole lot of it in here needs to multiply. Now at this point, I could choose to try and multiply it out by multiplying every term in one bracket with every term in the second bracket, as we did over here. However, that's going to be a little bit longer if we don't collect our like terms, and we do have like terms in the middle here. So let's quickly simplify this bracket by going x squared. Take x plus 3x is plus 2x, and then take 3, and then this is going to be x plus 2. Okay, so now what we want to do here is we want to multiply everything from one bracket with the other. So we're going to start with this x squared times the x just in here, which will give us x cubed. Then we want to go this x squared times the 2, which is going to be plus 2x squared. And what we notice here is the x squared's multiplied everything in the right-hand bracket here, so we now move to the next term, all right, which is this 2x times the x, all right, which will be 2x squared. And then we'll have this 2x times the 2, which will be plus 4x. And then finally, I might use orange here, the negative 3 has to multiply everything. So negative 3 times the x will be take 3x. And then the negative 3 has to multiply the positive 2 over here, which will be take 6. So now we've done that, we can collect our like terms again, all right, to simplify it. So there's no other x cubed terms, so it's just x cubed. There is 2x squared plus 2x squared, which would be plus 4x squared. We've got 4x take 3x, which is 1x, or just x. All right, and then we've got take 6, which is on its own. So when we're expanding like this, some things to keep in mind. When you multiply two sets of brackets with each other, essentially what you've got to do is multiply everything that's in one bracket with everything that's in the second bracket. And then the second thing we've got to keep in mind is we can only multiply two sets of brackets with each other at a time. Okay, and we always collect like terms and simplify, and it's really good to be in the habit to collect like terms as you go, like I did here, because it just makes that next set of expansion a little bit simpler.